Jack, I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly, not quickly.
Okay, that opening makes me nervous.
Worm, if someone looked at how you spent the last week, every hour, every decision, everything you gave your time to, what would they think matters most to you?
That's a very uncomfortable question.
I know. Take your time.
That's... They would think work matters most, and scrolling, and probably Macs, and maybe pizza.
And is that what actually matters most to you?
No, not really. Not in the way I'd say if you asked me to name my values.
Hello, everyone. I'm Grace. Welcome back to the Speak Bench, episode 8 of our Life and English series. Today, the most important question I know: what really matters to you? And, more honestly, does how you live reflect that? In English. Let's find out.
Hi everyone, I'm Jack, and that question Grace just asked me, I'm going to be thinking about it all week. Join me in the discomfort. Distinguished inside versus lived values. Grace, what's the difference between what I say matters and what actually shows up in my life?
In English and in psychology, we make a distinction between stated values and lived values. Stated values are what you say matters to you. If someone asks, "What are your values?" you might say family, health, creativity, growth. These are your stated values.
And lived values?
Lived values are what your actual behavior reveals, what you spend your time on, what you prioritize when you have a choice, what you protect fiercely, even when you're busy. Your lived values are visible in your calendar, your bank statements, and your daily habits.
And for most people, they don't match.
For most people, including me, there's a gap. Sometimes a small one, sometimes a significant one, between what we believe matters and how we actually live.
Like, I say health matters, but I haven't exercised properly in 2 months.
That's the gap. Not a judgment, just information. Information about where you need to realign.
Grace, core values, what exactly are they?
Core values are the fundamental beliefs and principles that guide your decisions and behavior. Core means central, the most essential part. Your core values are not what you think you should value, they're what genuinely drives you at the deepest level.
Like, someone might say their core value is success, but actually, underneath, it's security, or recognition, or belonging.
Core values often have a layer underneath the obvious one, and finding the real layer matters because you can't live in alignment with a value you haven't correctly identified.
Live in alignment.
To live in alignment means to live in a way that matches your values. Alignment, when things line up, when there's no gap between what you believe and how you behave. When you feel aligned, there's a sense of integrity, of wholeness.
And when you're not aligned?
When you're not aligned, there's a constant low-level discomfort, a sense that something is off, not always obvious, just present, like a note that's slightly out of tune.
I've felt that for a while now.
Most people who end up in this conversation have. The audit hour. There's a very honest exercise called a time audit. An audit is a careful examination of accounts or records. A time audit means carefully examining how you actually spend your time, without judgment, just observation.
How do you do it?
For 1 week, or even just 3 days, you track everything you spend time on: work, social media, exercise, family, rest, entertainment, learning, everything. And at the end, you look at the numbers, and you ask, do these numbers reflect your stated values?
If I did a time audit of last week, I think I'd find that I spent about 40 hours on work-related things, maybe 8 hours on screens that weren't work, 3 or 4 hours with people I care about, and almost nothing on things I say are important to me, like reading, like creativity, like just being outside.
And if someone looked at those numbers, what would they conclude your values are?
Productivity and distraction. Mostly those two.
The time audit doesn't lie. That's why it's uncomfortable and why it's useful. Jack, if you could name 3 things that actually matter most to you, not what you think should matter, what would they be? Connection. Genuinely, having real conversations of people I care about, not surface level, real ones. Like this.
Growth. I want to feel like I'm becoming a better version of myself. Not by external measures, just deeper, more capable, more aware. And Max, which sounds small, but being fully present with Max, not distracted, not on my phone, just walking him and watching him be delighted by things, that fills me up in a way nothing else does.
Connection, growth, and fully present moments with Max.
Those 3.
And last week, how much time did those 3 things get?
Not enough. Not nearly enough.
That's the gap. And naming it, seeing it clearly, is not a reason to feel guilty. It's an invitation to realign. Intention versus action.
Intention versus action. I've heard that phrase. What does it mean exactly in English?
Intention is what you plan or mean to do. Action is what you actually do. The road to anywhere is paved with good intentions, which is a version of the famous phrase, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, meaning wanting to do the right thing is not the same as doing it.
My intention is to exercise 3 times a week. My action last month, 0 times.
And in English, we say actions speak louder than words. Your behavior tells the truth more clearly than your statements. What you do consistently, that's what you actually believe.
So, if I want to know what I really value, I don't ask myself what I think I value, I look at what I do.
Your calendar is your confession. Your habits are your autobiography.
Your habits are your autobiography.
And the vocabulary word for something you refuse to compromise on, something that must happen regardless of circumstances, is non-negotiable. A non-negotiable is something you don't trade away, even when things get busy or difficult.
Max's morning walk is a non-negotiable. Even on bad days, even when I'm late.
And notice, Max's walk is already aligned with one of your core values, full presence, connection. You're already living that one. Every morning.
I never thought about it that way.
Sometimes we're more aligned than we realize. We just don't notice the things we're already doing right. 3 steps to close the gap between your stated values and your lived ones.
Ready.
Step 1, name your real values, not what you think you should value, what actually matters. Use this test. When you're at your best, what do you feel connected to? When something goes deeply wrong, what did you lose? Those answers point to your real values.
When I'm at my best, I feel connected to people I trust. When something goes deeply wrong, I feel isolated, disconnected. So connection is genuinely one of my core values.
Approving. Step 2, do the time audit. 1 week, track everything. Then compare your time to your values. Where's the gap biggest? That's to focus first, not everywhere at once, just the biggest gap.
My biggest gap, real conversation with people I care about. I substitute surface-level social media for it, which gives me the feeling of connection without the substance.
The feeling without the substance. In English, we call that a hollow substitute, something that looks like the real thing but doesn't actually satisfy the real need.
Social media is a hollow substitute for real human connection. That ends today.
That last sentence, remember it, that's your week in 1 sentence. Jack, one last question. If you lived next week entirely according to your 3 core values, connection, growth, and presence, what would be different? I'd put my phone down more. I'd call people instead of texting. I'd walk Max more slowly. I'd have more conversations like this one, where something real gets said. And what's stopping you from doing that?
Honestly, habit, and fear that if I slow down, I'll have to feel how much time I've already lost.
You haven't lost it. You've just been spending it unconsciously, and now you can choose.
Your challenge: name your top 3 values in English. Then look at last week honestly. Where's the gap? Write it in the comments. We read every one.
I'm Grace from the Speak Bench. Real conversations, real English, real you.
And I'm Jack, going to put my phone down now and take Max for a slow walk. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. What you spend your time on is what you're saying yes to. Choose carefully.